morning. Thank you for joining me for today's Facebook Live. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia. If you feel like things are a bit weird today, I'm a bit out of time. It's still 10 o'clock my time, but we lost daylight savings last night. So if you're anywhere else in the world, I may be an hour earlier than what you're expecting. Don't know about you, but daylight savings time really does my head in. Now, I don't know if you're a lot more organized than I am, but I've suddenly gone, oh my goodness, Easter's next weekend and we need to do something about decorating little treats that need to be handed out. So we're making a really easy but really cute, in my opinion, Easter little present for today. Let me show you what it's going to look like. It's that. Now, we get these Maltesers Easter bunnies, which are on special in the shops at the moment, so that makes a really quick and easy, nice little present. Let me show you the products that we're going to be using. I'm using the Playing in the Rain stamp set, and we've got the matching Playing in the Rain dies. Now, this is carrying over to the annual catalogue, but it's not going to be at the discounted bundle price, so if you want it, order it now that you get that 10% discount. It is a really sweet set and I've done lots and lots of cards with it. Although it's cute, it's not too childish, so it is a really nice set. And for my Happy Easter, I'm using the Celebrating You stamp set. Now, this has got a lot of nice sentiments in it. The other one that's on my radar at the moment is that Happy Mother's Day. But this one is retiring, sadly. So if you need these good sentiments, that's another one that you want to put onto your order list. We've also got the Stylish Shapes dies. Can't get away from those, and thank goodness those aren't retiring. And I'm using the dried brushed metallic DSP. So that one is your soft succulent, and that one's Cajun Craze. Comes in a pack with two 12 by 12 sheets of each color. And although that is retiring, there is still stock of that available, so that's going to be going onto the online exclusive store once the new catalog goes live, and that'll be available as long as stocks last. And of course, the other thing that we're going to need is just some blends for colouring. I've got my dark crumb cake, light soft succulent, and light and dark petal pink, and Memento for stamping, and some soft suede, which my soft suede stamp pad has decided to disappear on me right now. So I have some crumb cake which we'll use to stamp our sentiment. Okay, now this is really quick and really easy. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is do some scoring. I've got my piece of cardstock, which I've cut down slightly, so 19 centimeters if you work in centimeters, or 7.5 inches if you're working in the inches. And I've adjusted the size of that so that, because this is quite a narrow little chocolate that I'm putting inside it, you can use the full length of cardstock if you're working with a bigger chocolate, but I'll show you that at the end, if I can find where I put it. But yeah, okay. So first of all, we're going to do some scoring. So very simple scoring. I'm just scoring here at 6.8 centimeters or 2.5 inches, and I'm going to flip it over and score at that same measurement. Now, you could just score at 2.5 and then 5, or no, sorry, my brain is working overtime, so 6.8 and 13.6, but I've done it like this because I want to just show you that's going to make it easier if you want to make it bigger. Alright, now what we're going to do is I'm going to cut from that score line to the corner. And we're doing the same on the other side. So from the score line to the corner. So I now have this weird almost triangle piece, but that's exactly what we want. And then while we're cutting, I'm just going to cut my DSP. So I've got 2 pieces of DSP. This DSP is really easy because it's not directional. If it's directional, you just need to be careful that when you're cutting it, you actually have that you're cutting in the right way, that you're not going to have upside down pieces. So I'm going to cut from the one corner to the other corner, and then my other piece of paper I'm cutting in the other direction. So here I went from the top left to the bottom right. So now I'm going to go from the top right to the bottom left. Alright, so out of 2 pieces of DSP, you can get 2 of these little pouches. Because we need 2 pieces that are going to go like that. Right, now if you're using directional paper, then you can use it, but you're just going to have to fold your box the other way. So let's just give it a fold along the score lines, and I'll explain to you what I mean. Alright, so the way I've cut it now, I've cut it in the 2 different directions. It's going to sit like that. Now if I wanted to use the other pieces and it had to go directional, I think that this would, no, no, okay, you're just going to need to figure it out. I thought that made sense in my head, but it didn't really make sense when I was doing it. Alright, so you're just going to have to check it and see which way your directions are going to go. Now, it's pretty easy. All that we're going to do is glue the DSP onto my triangles here, and this should fit exactly, so that should be the exact same size as your triangle. And of course on the other side. Now we're going to take some tear and tape and place it along. Now if you want to, you can go all the way along the bottom. I'm not going all the way along, I'm just going to go along the middle strip and to one end. And you want this quite close to the bottom because you don't want to take up too much space for your chocolate to go into, so you want it to go down. Right, so let's just remove the tape over here, and I'm going to stick that side down. So this is the side that didn't have the glue on, so I'm sticking that first, but it really doesn't matter which way you stick it. One side can fold over the other. And then I'm going to take some of my soft succulent ribbon, which is also going to be retiring. I'm really sad that this ribbon is retiring. I really like this ribbon in all the colors. And what does everybody think about the new in colors that are coming? I always need to see things in real rather than seeing them on the screen, but from what I've seen, I think that they're going to be really nice. Okay, and we're going to just, don't tie this too tight. You do want to have that you've got a bit of room for your pouch to expand when your chocolate goes in. And of course, when I'm trying to tie on camera, it's not going to tie into a nice little bow. Okay, I'm going to make this one into a knot and we'll cut that down. Right, put that aside for the moment and let's do our stamping. So, little bunny, going to stamp him with my Memento. Now, when I coloured this one, that was coloured in soft suede, but then I decided that I thought he was a little bit dark, although looking at him now, he doesn't look too bad because the blends do get a bit lighter as they dry, but I'm going to go with the dark crumb cake instead. So I just use the bullet tip for my smaller areas and the brush tip for the bigger ones because I'm too impatient to sit in colour with the small tip all the way. Go. Okay. Light, soft, succulent for his jacket. And again, I'm quite happy to leave some light. It just looks like there's something reflecting off it if you've got a little bit of white patches. I'm using light petal pink inside his ears and dark petal pink for his nose. Run it through the Big Shot. Oh, I keep saying Big Shot. Can we ever get over Big Shots? The cut and emboss machine. And we've got our little bunny cut out. Now I've cut my stylish shaped circle and we're going to just don't know how I got ink like a half a bunny stamped on the back of that one because it was a new piece of that was a new piece of cardstock. This one may not have been. Okay, that explains that. I think that I was cutting and I hadn't liked how it's stamped. It was too close. Okay, so stick that on there. Now what I found is I'm going to stick my bunny down and I want to give the glue a little bit of time to set on the sides here because it's going to pop up, so you want that glue to actually be sticking nicely on the side. So just glue along the bottom of my circle and we're going to stick it there, and then I'm going to just go in here. I obviously don't want glue over the opening, but I do want a bit of extra glue so that it's going to hold down when it pops up. Alright, so let's just let that set for a minute and step my sentiment while we're doing that. That's the reason why I'm doing things what seems like an odd order today, just to give that glue time to set. So there's my happy Easter. And I'm just going to fussy cut around that sentiment. So you don't have to worry about being too precise. I went a little bit close there, but that's okay. Just try to keep a roughly even distance around your letters. And I'm going to just make that corner not so sharp. So we can glue our sentiment on. And just cut those a little bit shorter, seeing that this decided it didn't want to be a bow on camera for me. And we can pop our chocolate inside. There was where I said to you I wanted that extra glue just to hold it down. I maybe should have given it just a few more minutes to make sure it was stuck properly, but all good. Right, now what I wanted to show you is if you want to, you can adjust this for a slightly bigger bar of chocolate. So here's where I've taken my same piece of cardstock, but I've used the full length of the cardstock, so the 21 centimeters or your 8.5 inches. But I've done my scoring at the same points. So it was at that 6.8 or 2.5 inches, which is why I said do it on one side and then just turn it over and flip it around to the other side. So when you then close that, you're going to have a much wider piece, much wider, like, you know, turn up 2 centimeters or an inch wider on the back. So there you could fit a wider slab of chocolate in here. So yeah, you're going to have much less of an overlap over there, but again, does that matter? So you can adjust this. Obviously, if you wanted a really big chocolate, then you would use the whole length of your paper, although then you would definitely need to adjust the sides of your scoring so that it actually pushes over. And depending on how long your chocolate bar is, you may need to make it a bit longer as well. Alright, so those are really quick and easy. You then can make a whole heap of them that you've got chocolates to hand out to everybody that you see who needs them. If you happen to see me and I give you one of these because I'm making a few that I can just dish out, please pretend that you're excited or you haven't seen this on my Facebook Live. I'll be back next weekend, which is going to be Easter Sunday. But before then, have a happy Easter, and if you're traveling, stay safe. See you next week. Bye.